So those are the 5 practices that are common in patriarchy. And Plumwood, the author that I got much of this from, says that all used together, they lead to what she refers to as the standpoint of mastery. It's an unhealthy perspective for a number of reasons. The problem with the standpoint of mastery, I'm going to read some from stuff that Plumwood has read because she puts it so well. I really love how she does this. And I really recommend her works too. I think they're still quite relevant. But she basically says that the standpoint of mastery is a set of views of the self and its relationship to the other, and it is influenced by and influences a person so that they are more open to, and they are associated with, this standpoint of mastery does this, associated with sexism, racism, capitalism, colonialism, and the domination of nature. It involves seeing the other as radically separate and inferior, the background to the self as opposed to foreground, as in your peer or something that you associate with willingly and compassionately, as in you care about it. Also, when you have that standpoint of mastery, the existence of all that environment is secondary. You're the most important thing in that perspective. That means that it's peripheral to you. Its importance is derived from your importance. And finally, it denies or minimizes the potential for agency in all of the people or things that have been backgrounded by you in your mental perspective if you have this standpoint of mastery. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Now that you understand those 5 practices, you can probably see, as you think about them, how they all interweave and support each other. It's like, well, if someone is inferior to me, then I should be able to treat them as just an instrument. And of course, they're all the same. It's not important whether it's that person that serves me or that person that serves me. They're still my servants. And that's that's how they support and interrelate with each other. But if you think about it, you could probably also see how they, to have that perspective is to engage in oppression of others, and also to believe that that is correct, that that is the right way to behave. And this standpoint of mastery, because of its perspective being very narrow, it is just by those who are in power, and their perspective becomes what society is supposed to believe. And the problem with this is because the masters have been systematically unable to acknowledge the fact that they depend on nature, that they depend on other people. They cannot see that perspective. And so they develop blind spots, in their mental maps, which honestly can be really dangerous for us as a species. You can see that almost trivially now. The problem that we're having with, for example, climate change. If the people who are in power have this standpoint of mastery, which says that nature is just a resource and we just take from it without consequence as much as we want, and we know this is not true, at some point they're going to, it's like a Jenga game or something. You pull out enough pieces at the bottom, eventually everything falls over. Well, it's the same thing with nature. If you keep throwing garbage into nature, nature will do its best to recover from it, but at some point it won't be able to, and then it comes crashing down. And I don't want us to come crashing down with it. And that means if we do not want to fall with nature, because we are intricately tied to nature, we cannot survive without it. If we do not want to fall with nature, we have to make sure nature doesn't fall in the first place. And that means we cannot think of ourselves as radically separated from nature, that what happens in nature doesn't affect us at all. Because obviously that's not true. So if we can somehow learn from understanding these 5 practices, if we can say, oh, that's dangerous, let's not do that as much, then I think that's a win for us. I think that makes us better people. And as better people, I think we can live better lives. To me, that's important. That's a worthy goal. That's something that I'm hoping that both I and you, the people who are watching me, will consider worth trying, worth learning from, and maybe make things a little better for everybody. Thank you. So that's the practices that you find in patriarchy, or cultural elements. So now let's back up a little bit and think about patriarchy and matriarchy as far as defining them. We have to remember that they are social systems. They are cultural bases. The thing is that frequently when people are talking about matriarchy, they talk about it as if it's an individual person or an individual family, and I don't think that's a good way to consider it. You can say that a family, for example, is very patriarchal or matriarchal, but I don't think you can say correctly, I mean, you can say anything, but I don't think you can correctly say this family is a patriarchy or this family is a matriarchy. And that's why I described the practices first, so that you could say more correctly, for example, in this family, it is very patriarchal because the man backgrounds the woman and has instrumentalized her, that kind of thing. So one of the constant precepts, one of the descriptors that I've heard of patriarchy is that it is based on dualism. And the problem with dualism is that, again, it's the radical separation that I mentioned to you, but it also comes with that automatic assignation of worth. The group that you're part of course, is always more important than that other group. And what that means in many people's minds is that because you are superior, that gives you, rightfully, this is what they believe, power over that other group. Now, let's be very blunt here. I don't think anyone deserves power over anyone else. And I don't mean just in a patriarchy, male power over women, or a white male power over people of color or nature. I think if you give power over to any group, at some point it will get misused. I think you're much better looking to do power with, which is feasible. I mean, I know it sounds a little odd right now, but I think it can be done. I have a quote from Brene Brown that I really like, that I want to read to you. She writes, "What makes power dangerous is how it's used. Power over is driven by fear. Daring and transformative leaders share power with, empower people to, and inspire people to develop power within." I will put the link to where I got that quote in the comments as well. The thing is, power over is based on control, hierarchy, dominance. In order to have power over, you have to be forcing someone to do something frequently that they don't really want to do. Now, I have had pointed out to me that the Industrial Revolution was a case of power over. And look how far we jumped with that. And yes, power over can force growth in industry. It can force people also to submit to having all of their resources stolen so that It can fund or it can drive the Industrial Revolution. But to be honest, power over also stifles creativity. I mean, why would you want to be creative? Whatever you make is going to be stolen by whoever has power over you. The other thing is, power over makes people feel disconnected from the systems that they're working within. Why should I care about this particular company or this particular culture? Because if I am subordinated, if I am oppressed, then anything I do is just, again, going to be stolen by somebody who has more power than me. I don't care. I don't want to help. And, that can easily happen when you're somebody who's feeling oppressed. You feel like there's nothing you do makes a difference. And you have to remember not to fall into despair in a situation like that, to work towards power with. I think we have a situation like that in the United States right now, which is a serious issue, obviously. I think it's dividing the country. The problem is that there are people who have power and there are people who feel powerless. Understandable, that's what you expect in a patriarchy. And the people who are currently in power, if I understand the reading that I've been doing, are afraid of losing what they consider their rightful power. And I think we need to figure out how to help these people. One of the examples that was given to me, and I think it's a good one, is I was watching a video about West Virginia. West Virginia predominantly survived for a generation or two on coal mining. Coal mining is very destructive to the environment, and people rightfully try to make coal not be our sole fuel source. However, one of the side effects of that is that these people in West Virginia are losing their jobs. They're losing their standard of living. You cannot expect families of West Virginia to wholeheartedly support environmentalism if it deprives them of their ability to live a good life. And that's what I mean by helping people who don't understand the oppression they are endorsing and creating by feeling that they have power over and it is a necessity. We need to figure out a way to help these people feel still powerful without it being power over that harms someone else. And I think there are ways to do that. I'm no social change masterpiece here. I don't know for sure, but I think if we put more of our effort into that we can figure out a way to make this better. Maybe I'm all pie in the sky. I've been told that before, but I think we need to keep hope. If we don't keep hope, then if we don't keep trying, then we just say, oh, well, it all sucks. Let's let it all die. And as we can see, if we make no effort to fix things, a lot of it will die. Let's not go there. Let's keep trying, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. I think my voice is getting tired. That's enough for today. If you're still here, you've been listening all this time, thank you so much. I really appreciate your interest. I hope you're having as much fun as I am, and I hope you're learning something. Put a comment and let me know what fascinated you the most. Or if there's something that you're really interested in that you want to know about, put that in the comments too, because I draw off of the things that I learned from you to make these talks, and I hope that makes them more interesting and more relevant to the people who are watching. I'm going to try and chat for 15 to 20 minutes to keep it in digestible chunks. I know I'm throwing a lot of what may appear to be very strange ideas out, and I want to give everybody time to think about it, digest it, maybe come up with questions, maybe come up with comments, and then the next day I'll have something more for you to talk and think about if you want. I'm probably going to take weekends off, but my goal, cross your fingers, let's see if I can actually do this, I don't know, but my goal is to try and have something every single weekday, as in Monday through Friday, and then give myself time on Saturday and Sunday to just relax a bit. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have a wonderful year, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Everybody take care and be well, and happy learning, happy teaching. Enjoy life. Let's all do our best to make it better. Thank you.